Good evening and welcome back to Sack to the Future. This is week number 2, and the Bears are taking on the semi-pro team from Jacksonville. Bears and Jacksonville both surprisingly 1-0. Jacksonville took out the Vikings, so they kind of helped the Bears in week 1. But I don't know if you caught it or if I had already hit ready up, but the ratings have fixed themselves. Week 1, the team overalls are always jacked up, but they get better as the season goes on. So now that the Jaguars were not able to sign a bunch of guys, we got to downrate them properly, and you see the Jaguars come in rated a 53. The Bears are an 84, and the real-life champions. There you take a look. The Jags had a pretty good week 1, not as good as the Bears did, though. Bears come in at +5, and this may very well be my last game here in Sack to the Future. I certainly don't expect it to be, but the premise is this. I am supposed to, in 1963, the Chicago Bears are supposed to win the championship. The Jacksonville Jaguars, of course, in 63 don't exist, so they are a semi-pro team. I also do the ratings for Sack to the Future, so if I lose this game, in other words, I'm a bad enough player to take the champions and lose with the champions to a semi-pro team, I probably don't deserve to play anymore. On top of that, if doing the ratings, I can't rate the players in a way that allows the champions to have no problem with a semi-pro team, then I should probably get kicked out of the league as well. So, fighting to keep our place in Sack to the Future. Not really. Nobody said I have to leave if I lose. But they probably will say that. So, Billy Wade, 195 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick last week against the Houston Oilers. See, the Bears in 63 still have not put the names on the back of the jerseys yet. And luckily the Bears are able to wear these jerseys, the 60s jerseys, both away and home, are in Madden 18. I'm hoping that they will still be in Madden 20. Madden 20, of course. Oh, wait, let's take a look at the Bears' offensive line. Pyle, Karras, Davis, Westowska, and Lee are your offensive linemen. Willie Gallimore and Ronnie Boulder, running backs. Morris and Farrington are the receivers, and Mike Ditka is the tight end. I was going to say Madden 20 ratings, of course, came out. I have already determined that I will be getting the game, as they have sold me on the superstar abilities and such, and I think it'll be great for a modern franchise. So excited to play that. However, I'm also excited to play it to see if it will work for Sack to the Future or not. Some of the other channels, Vinny X Wolf channel, has also already determined that he will be purchasing Madden 20. So half the league is in. However, neither one of us have played it yet, so we certainly have not determined that it would be the right thing to do to move from 18 to 20. Furthermore, the other half of the league, the John M channel and the Terrors 89 channel, have not even gone so far as to dedicate that they will be buying the game. So obviously, if either one of those two do not buy the game, we certainly will not be moving up. And of course, if any of us feel it's not ready, Unser, Whitey Ford, Dick Davis, and Willie McCovey across the defensive line. Orlando Cepeda in the middle, Roberto Clemente, and Johnny Ace. A lot of these guys playing the wrong sport. You got Grant Fuhrer, David Cohn, Kevin Blankenship, and some guy I wasn't going to try to say quickly. But yeah, you saw a race car driver, a bunch of baseball players, a hockey goalie, a bunch of people playing the wrong sport. But again, this is a semi-pro team, and that is the way it goes. There's Johnny Morris on the catch. And what I was saying before, again, even if all four of us get at 20, if any of us believe the game is just not right for Sack to the Future, we will certainly not be moving forward. What could make it at the same time a good game but bad for Sack to the Future? Well, they could have taken all the rest of the historical equipment away. In Madden 19, of course, they took away the TK helmets, I believe. Or no, the TK helmets are still there, but the Riddell Standard is gone. If they take away the TK this time, so you have no historical helmets at all, that would be one way we might want to avoid making the switch. Those superstar abilities, if they're editable, where you can put the abilities on players and take them off of players, that would be a dream come true for me. However, if they cannot, that was almost picked. If you cannot, for instance, Patrick Mahomes has a bunch of superstar abilities. If you cannot take them off of him, then it gets really hard. You have to find someone in 64, let's say, or 65, that matches those kind of abilities, being able to throw on the run and things like that, which will, one, make it harder, because we'll have to actually go in and say, okay, let's say Fran Tarkenton is the one that matches those abilities. Then we'll have to get the guy from the Chiefs, get him over to the Vikings, name him Fran Tarkenton, and then adjust the ratings accordingly. Which, of course, is more work, but could still be worth it. So that alone wouldn't take it off. However, the rookies, if I understand correctly, you don't know what their abilities are until about week 8. So if that just gets too insane, fight! Oh, what a fight by no, that's not Ronnie Bull. That's Marconi with the fight for the first down. The Jaguars stopped him behind the line. Roberto Clemente was in on the tackle. They had him behind the line, but he fought. Look at this. He's not yet for the first down marker, but he just fights and fights and fights and eventually breaks through and gets the first down. A great run from Marconi, the former Los Angeles Ram. Look at that fight. So good. So again, if some of those things go the way we don't want, we will not be moving up. Or again, if any of the members decide that the game is not worth purchasing. Which unfortunately with Madden is the case a lot of times, then we will not be moving. But 18 has served us well. This is the 4th season, of course, of Sack to the Future, all on Madden 18. And if we have to continue with Madden 18, I'm sure we'll have a couple of years of availability still. So we may just stick with 18 throughout the 60s. More to come in about 5 to 6 weeks when everyone's gotten the game and got to play it a little bit. Oh, they give him the touchdown. Willie Gallimore. It's credit for the touchdown. Just gets it across the line. And the Bears open the game up with the touchdown drive. It wasn't easy, though. They had to go for it on 4th down, and Marconi just willed his team to a first down, and then Gallimore had to will himself into the end zone there. Now you see Palmer trying to get the Jaguars fired up on their end. They were able to take out the Minnesota Vikings. Now, again, that was a little... I told you before this game they're rated at 53. Week 1 is the computer's best chance to cheat. So we downrate the Jaguars, put them at about a 53. Vikings are certainly capable of beating a 53 ranked team. But what happens in week 1 is the computer signs a bunch of guys, all the good free agents. Here's Arnold Palmer making his first start because, again, the Jaguars went out and signed a very good rookie who we didn't have a chance to edit. So he was rated high. The Redskins were also able to do this, if you remember, when I was playing them with the 49 against the 49ers. They signed these guys, and they're free agent rookies because they've been cut or whatever. But in Madden default rosters, a 75 rated quarterback might find themselves in the free agent market. EA Sports rates, at least in Madden 18, EA Sports rates their quarterbacks way too high. So, of course, for instance, I think there is only one, maybe two. Y.A. Tittle, I know for sure, is the one quarterback that I've rated over an 80. Johnny Unitas is right around an 80. He may be an 81. So, those are the 80 club. Oh, here's the line real quick. Warren Spawn, Tom Cruise, Blown Stain, and 2 tackles. Willie Mays is the running back. Pete Rose is his backup. You got, I don't know. A little slow today, and that's going way too fast. But more baseball players. And I completely forgot what the hell I was. Oh, yeah, the Jaguars and the computers cheating in week 1. So, they beat the Vikings by using a quarterback they weren't supposed to have, rated about 75. Well, Fran Tarkenton is right at an 80. So, in this matchup, Billy Wade's about a 75, but the Jaguars quarterback is a 50-something. So that is a difference, and that's why this game will be much easier than the Vikings had it, where their 80-ranked quarterback was going up against a 75-ranked quarterback who's way too good to be on the semi-pro team. As well as other people. They had at least 4 to 5 guys rated over a 70. And clearly now that we've gotten past week 1 and they've been fixed, they have a bunch of nothings, as they should, guys that couldn't make a real NFL team. Now, it doesn't mean they're complete garbage. Some of the guys still have NFL speed. They just might not have the hands. And if you have speed and no hands, well, teams will go find a guy that has your speed but with hands. It doesn't make you slower. It just means that you're not in the league and they are. So you have guys that are just as fast as guys on the Bears. You may have a guy with hands good enough to be in the NFL but not enough speed. So you'll still have guys that can make good catches. You'll still have guys that can actually even make good tackles. But then you'll have some that have speed and can't tackle, or have speed and can't catch. So it's overall, physically, bits and pieces of them might be able to match up. But as a team, they're just going to have glaring holes. And overall, when you get to all 11 positions, of course, they are not as strong. So they might be able, 4 of the guys on their defense might be able to match 4 of my offensive players on speed, but overall, when you count all 11, I'll have the speed advantage on enough of them that you'll certainly see a difference. And as always with the semi-pro teams, it gets worse for them as the game goes on. It already seems like the Bears' offensive line is starting to impose their will. But if they aren't able to yet, you'll certainly see in the third and especially the fourth quarters that whatever success the Jags have early, they'll lose that in the second half when they start getting worn down. Cepeda with his second tackle. There's Johnny Morris near the sidelines, makes the catch. Billy Wade off to a nice 6-for-7 start. The Bears opened up the season, of course, against the defending Sack to the Future champion Houston Oilers. Now the Houston Oilers through injuries, continued injuries to Billy Cannon, which is just a sad situation. On his way to a brilliant career, former Sack to the Future MVP, but just riddled with injuries in part of last year and the beginning of this year. And unfortunately, that's going to continue for his career in Houston, as he'll eventually get traded to the Raiders. As well as they let one of their receivers go. And I think their both offensive and defensive lines take a turn for the worst. So that was not the championship quality team that came in. I believe in '63, the Oilers are a 6-8 team or 5-9. They're under 500, definitely worse rated than they were ever before in Sack to the Future. And then, of course, the Bears are as highly rated as they've ever been, as they are supposed to win the '63 championship. So all that led to a pretty easy win for the Bears, 34-0. And then, if you saw on the Vinny X Wolf channel here in week 2, it didn't get any easier as the Oilers had to play the Green Bay Packers. And that was another hard game. You might see some score highlights as we play this game on the bottom there. But you can check that full game out on both the John M. and Vinny X Wolf channels. However, you never count the Oilers, and especially John M. out, as last year I believe the Oilers found themselves at like 4-5, maybe even 4-6. And I think they were 4-6 and then did not lose another game and won the Super Bowl. Jaguars put a little bit of defense together right there and are able to stop the Bears to a field goal attempt. And I may have missed it. It's going to just sneak in. Just good enough to get inside the upright, and the Bears take the 10-point lead. 42-yard field goal is just good, just long enough, and just inside the upright. Of course, for the most part, kickers are still developing here in '63. Very limited roster space, so with the exception of maybe 1 to 2 teams, no one wanted to waste a roster spot on a guy that could just kick. So you'll have offensive linemen, safeties, and whatnot as the kickers, and when that's the case, you have a lot of 50% or worse kickers out there with not much leg strength. So 45-yarders here in Sack to the Future, as you have come to know, are kind of like 56-yarders in modern NFL. 45, if you make a 45, be proud of yourself is what I'm trying to say. And if you make a 50 here at Sack to the Future, well then, you had some wind at your back. Now the Jaguars are playing pretty tough. I know it's a 10-point lead, but they are definitely playing pretty tough. I'm not physically dominating them yet. Again, I think that will come in the second half. But the Jaguars are considered by some to be the very best of the semi-pro teams. I would probably argue that because the Falcons continually win the semi-pro division, and they have beaten a member of the Sack to the Future family, if you will, that they are the best team. But the Jaguars, I think, have beaten 2. I know the Jaguars have beaten Vinny X Wolf, and I believe they may have beaten John M. once as well. So they can certainly be considered the best of the semi-pros.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is a receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field.
Currently, the Jaguars are in first place, as they were the only team to win a game in the AFC South. Good blocking. Semi-pro team was able to block the defensive line of the 63 Bears, and there you see Arnold Palmer. It's 2 for 3. Gonna have to blitz these guys. You would think Kilcullen and Stan Jones and Big Doug Atkins could get through, but not so far. Why did I dive? Luckily, my friend was able to come up Fortunato, come up and get the sack. I forgot I was supposed to drop into coverage, so I just dove into the ground like an idiot. Let me see what I'm supposed to do here. Okay, I get the rush on this one. There's another completion by Arnold Palmer, 3 of 4. 5 minutes to go in the half, 10-0, but the Jags are driving. If they score, make it a 1-point game this late into the half. Might start worrying about our sack to the future career coming to an end. Pete Rose. Charlie Hustle with a 3-yard gain. Willie Mays has 14 yards. Pete Rose adds another 3. That gives the Jaguars at least 17 yards rushing so far. There's completion, but George comes up to stick him before he can get to the first down. And now from the 41-yard line, this is very interesting. It says field goal. Do I believe it? 58-yarder. Now, these semi-pro guys sometimes do grab modern kickers. So if anyone's going to make one from this long... Was that good? Well, that was annoying. So I ran into the kicker, giving the Jaguars a first down. I think he may have made that 58-yard field goal anyways. And if the real NFL teams would just be willing to pay the kicker. There's a guy out here in Jacksonville that can make him from 58. It's unheard of in the NFL and AFL. Not sure what this guy's name is. Gugliotti, maybe. Definitely planting the seed in some of the NFL teams that maybe, just maybe, will open a position to a guy that can just kick the ball.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game.
Okay, we're going to have to be Doug Atkins because I need to get something. It's a handoff, and Willie Mays gets a huge gain. I'm very impressed with how the Jaguars' offensive line is able to completely handle this Bears defensive line, one of the best defensive lines in all of football. I wouldn't say the best, but one of the best. There's a sack. That'll back him up to the 29, and we'll try this field goal thing again, but he just made it from 58, so I am quite sure he'll have no problem making this. I got to make sure I don't hit him again. Oh, well, didn't time that right, and that's right down the middle. And the Jaguars take and get on the board just as the 2-minute warning comes into play. So 2 minutes to go in the half. The semi-pro team from Jacksonville, Florida is only down by 1 score. I've been saying it all game. You just have to try to survive the first half. Eventually, the talent will wear down the semi-pro team, and they should be an easy team to control in the second half. However, with that said, though, it's a one-score game. Can't do anything dumb like throw a pick six here or something. The game would be tied, and then they might start feeling that they have a chance to win this thing. Completion to Ronnie Bull underneath. Now the fake at the Bull. Gets it to Farrington for a first down. Farrington in motion. And Ronnie Bull gets just a couple, or just one, no gain.
And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a splinter stance, they're just headed straight for the quarterback.
Oh, hit immediately and the ball dropped as the Jaguars completely read that was going to be a screen.
That would have been a great catch, but real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Here we go now.
Oh, Wade throws it a little too high for Koya, and the Bears are going to be forced to punt.
Turned it loose, didn't he? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
Colquitt on to kick as he sends it away.
That's going to be too strong into the end zone.
And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback.
So out comes Arnold Palmer with 46 seconds in all of their timeouts to try to tie this thing before the half and really start making the Phantom Fighter channel nervous as maybe Sack of the Future comes to an end right here tonight for one of the four channels.
Receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Let's go. 3-19.
Is that another completion? It is 6 of 7 as Arnold Palmer.
4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
Let's make this one simple.
And here's the thing.
Especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
That's caught. Another completion, 7 of 8 now. Oh, and there's big Stan Jones coming through with a nice play. That's a completion, and he gets hammered, but Arnold Palmer's 8 of 9.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong arm guy who can right foot in there.
And there's the sack. And let's call timeout just in case it's a bad punt. 7 seconds. If the punt's high enough, this could take all 7 seconds off the clock.
And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And it's taken in at the 9.
Oh, stupid. Well, that'll do it. We are at the half. It is 10-3 Bears. Way closer than it needs to be. That is for sure. And the Jags will start with the ball. Now the Vikings up 21-0, but that is incorrect or untrue. The Vikings got to start the season against 2 semi-pro teams, but they failed the first time. See what they do in the second game over on the Vinny X Wolf channel tomorrow night. Jaguars only have 42 total yards, but the offensive line has held up for the most part, except for there you see them jump. And Arnold Palmer has been ridiculously accurate. You can see the 49ers all over the Bills, 20-0. Have a feeling the Bills will be making some halftime adjustments, though. Of course, I have that feeling because that game's already been played, and you can see it in its entirety here. Or, of course, you can see all Sack to the Future games by searching the Sack to the Future playlist on the Vinny X Wolf channel. 1960, 61, 62, and now 1963 are all out there.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments, a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Chop block, but he gets up anyway. Kilcullen was chop blocked. Gets up anyways, hits him, forces the fumble. Offensive lineman picks it up. Doug Atkins puts him down. And there's a sack from Big Doug Atkins. So you can see Doug Atkins has that's already 7 sacks actually for the Bears. So it's time here in the second half. They certainly did get some in the first half, but you can see Doug Atkins has had a half to work his man over, and he's just a semi-pro tackle. So eventually, a player as good as Doug Atkins is certainly going to learn how to expose him before the game's over. Oh, what? I go for the big hit, miss entirely, and that gives Willie Mays a bunch more yards. You see Arnold Palmer 9 of 10, auditioning for someone over in the NFL or AFL. Detroit may be coming up later tonight on the John M channel. If I hear before this game's over, I will certainly let you know for sure. This time is unconfirmed, but certainly hopeful. The Packers have already gotten to 2-0 over on the Vinny X Wolf channel. The Bears trying to get to 2-0 here, and the Lions on the John M channel. What a divisional fight this is going to be with 3 of the 4 teams human controlled. The fourth one, of course, the Vikings. You'll be able to see all of their games as well, because when they're not playing one of us, they will be showcased on the Vinny X Wolf channel. But it's going to be a tough year for the Vikings since they are in a division with all human-controlled players. It's completion to Mike Ditka and Billy Wade. Not as good as Arnold Palmer, but he is having a pretty good game, 9 of 13. Gallimore has 8 carries for 32 yards and a touchdown.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get
Dang it.
He'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave
What?
him with a 3rd and 7.
Hell.
Now a handoff looking right.
There's Gallimore exploding through the line, getting a first down.
17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a 1st down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point. Going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Ronnie Bull now breaks a tackle, gets close to a first down himself. Only his 3rd carry, his 13 yards.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Completion to Marchetti out of the backfield. And let's go ahead and do a hurry up out of nowhere.
The ball in the backfield, and oftentimes it's quite a surprise to the defense because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher.
Ronnie Bull. It's a few more yards. He's up to 19 now.
Make it 2nd and 4.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive because we see that type of a run. I get the feeling the defense get a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard.
2nd and 4 now from the 8.
Of the drive.
Here we go now.
And he'll give it here to his running back.
Gallimore just enough for the first down.
The 4. 4 yards on the play, and that leads to the 1st and goal.
Well, this has been a long drive. In fact, it's eaten up a good chunk of the 3rd quarter, which is precisely what you want when you're playing with the lead. You control the football, you control the clock, and impose your will on the defense.
Here we go.
Sayers had a good block, but Ronnie Bull wasn't able to go anywhere anyway. Complaining of a face mask.
Loss against his rushing stats, but really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step.
Here we go now. Blue landing. Blue landing.
2nd and goal from the 5. And again, this time to take
Ronnie Bull unable to get in. He gets down to the 3 only.
taking it from the 5 down to the 3.
Okay.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they've only converted once in 4 tries. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here.
All right, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll set up a play.
Oh, it's picked off at the goal line. Unbelievable. And this game is going to remain close as the Jaguars are now winning the turnover battle. And instead of the Bears settling for a field goal and going up by 10, it's still just a 1-point game. Well, May's up to 31 yards now.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there.
Let's go. 319.
Play action. Now throw.
There's the pick. Richie Pettibone gets the second interception of the season. He had one in week 1 and now gets one here in week 2. And that gives the Bears another chance to take the lead in this one.
Really nice starting field position here for the offensive unit.
Now let's go.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure.
What? Gallimore dropped the ball.
But plain and simple, that's the second time today that he's dropped the pass.
And that one, I think maybe even a little easier than the earlier one that he dropped, surprising.
Was this game announced as a night game prior to? Maybe his rhythm was just off. He got thrown off. He's got to wake up, enjoy the sunshine, and go play.
There is the touchdown to Farrington. And Wade gets his touchdown. He has 1 touchdown and 1 interception in the week 1 contest, and now he's got 1 of each here in week 2. So a pattern is presenting itself for Billy Wade. On pace to throw 16 touchdowns and 16 interceptions, which for 63 is not bad. I could probably live with that. What I don't need is 16 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. There's a big game. You see the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns, both teams 1-0. The John M. versus Tears 89 matchup. 2 of the best running backs in all of football. That is going to be a great game, on paper at least. You saw down below the Bills making it interesting. It's 20-14 now. Arnold Palmer comes out again. Coach telling him, hey, just keep completing passes. You're almost 100% accurate. But he wasn't accurate on his last pass, as Richie Pettibone finally showed him that the NFL is a little harder than he was thinking for the first 2.5 quarters of this game. Willie Mays, 10 carries, 30 yards, averaging 3 a carry. It's not bad. And that's the end of the third quarter. Bears up to a 2-score game, which is nice, a 2-score lead, but still close enough to keep the viewers interested. It's not on purpose. I would like to be blowing this team out and have you guys turn it off if that's what you need to do. Oh, there you see Arnold Palmer finally looking like someone that couldn't cut it in the NFL as he throws that inaccurately for no reason. And now it's a big third down, 3rd and 11. And Palmer threw that to no one in particular. And that should force a punt. And now there's a decision. We'll see where the wow, that's a good punt. Great punt by the Jaguars. So I guess we will probably, we'll see how the Jags line up. Pretty sure we're going to go conservative to try to, I mean, with the ball way back here, if we could get a nice running drive, we could probably take most of the quarter up. On the other hand, if the Jaguars sell out all run, see if we can get Johnny Morris over the top.
Look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Hey, 4 down. Now let's go. Boo, land it. No. Check. Patriot.
That's complete to Bo Farrington. And that'll get me out of the danger of my own end zone. Now we can see if we can't work on the clock a little bit. Gallimore runs into his own man for a second there. Slows him down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Did have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Gallimore gets a couple, gets to 3rd and 2.
As the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Gallimore gets the 1st down and more. 14 carries, 74 yards. For whatever reason, the Jaguars backed off to play the pass. I was actually going to pass, thinking that I could trick them with a play action, but they went all out pass, so of course you just take the easy yardage. That time they were all over the run, but I don't care as much because the main objective was not to get a big run, but rather to get the clock moving again.
Made it very difficult right there, and now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
So Mike Ditka across the middle. And Billy Wade 13 of 19 and walks very differently down the field. Billy Wade takes a sack from Whitey Ford. That was stupid. Nope, wrong button.
Not necessarily with just protecting your quarterback, but you show them a lot of different looks. They did that in the first half. You know, different angles, different things to slow down the speed. They got to him in the second half.
Oh, Billy Wade fumbles the football and gets it back. 10-yard run, fumbles the football, somehow snagged it before all the Jaguars got there to take it away from him.
Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Yeah, pounced right back on it, keeps possession.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
No dice this go around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. The loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs, and let's face it.
Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it.
And it works for the touchdown. Well, gotta try it every once in a while. Figure there's not as much danger trying against a semi-pro team, and of course that ended up being the case. Now we know if it doesn't work against a semi-pro team, certainly never pull it out against a real team, or certainly not a human. But since it worked against the semi-pro team, now it becomes an option in real games. Now, of course, if I try it in a real game and it gets completely shut down, then I'll know that it's just because the semi-pro team, if you think about it, you're a semi-pro team. Maybe some of your starters can compete for a number of quarters, but when you get down to special teams, now you're talking about backups on a semi-pro team. And that's where you can see some very big deficiencies.
These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going.
So out comes Arnold Palmer.
When the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm. A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep him warm. He might need a massage from the hands right now, no matter what he's getting.
And he's able to plow forward out to about the 29.
Surprising to me that they ran the ball.
That gets him to 2nd and 4.
Let's talk about football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Hey, Vinny. Yeah, the It's actually closer than the score would indicate, or it has been. But, of course, it's the semi-pro team, so when you get to the fourth quarter, for the most part, they just can't hang anymore. They've given everything they could to make it close through three quarters. And now it is what it is. They got some experience playing a quality NFL team. And maybe, in their minds, some of these guys can make it to the league in the future. And there are some people here and there that you will see, mostly because they took 62 off. For instance, Paul Horning's out there. He's on the semi-pro team this year. So he'll obviously make it back to the league. There you see a fumble. Jones falls on it, and the defensive line and front seven has just been too much for the semi-pro team, as it should be. Atkins got there on that one. And that really should do it. The Jags have all their timeouts, but I suspect they won't be calling them. We'll see what happens after this play. Yep, there's no call. So this game should end soon.
So now 11 yards to go for this offensive unit. It's second down.
How were the fireworks, Vinny, if you're still on? It says 0 viewers. But I think it said that before you commented the second time. Yep, we already talked about the Vikings. The Lions, I haven't heard from John M., but the Lions may be on tonight. If they are, you'll see a third team from this NFC Central try to go 2-0.
Off the field, they're going on 4th and 5.
Back 99 Philly, here we go. Hurry up, here we go. Hurry.
Now they'll throw here.
And complete to Ditka for the touchdown, because it's semi-pro, of course. Okay, so the Lions will actually be tomorrow morning, but the Packers, you saw, put 45 points on the board, got the 2-0. The Bears kind of ran up the score there, but it's the semi-pro team, so I don't care. Wouldn't have done it if it was a real team, or especially if it was a human team, but this way we could keep the Bears at 34 total points in each game, as game 1 was 34-0. Game 2 now 31-3. Every game is 34. I just got to make sure that the Bears get more than 17 of those 34, and we should be fine. All right, so Jags dropped to 1-1, which is still going to keep them in contention in that division, as they still have the only win. Tomorrow night, though, you'll see if the Colts, no, not tomorrow night, 2 nights from now, the Colts will try to get their first win in that division against the Patriots. I hope not, because I'm controlling the Patriots, but you can see that game both here and on the Vinny X Wolf channel. Again, tomorrow morning, well, if you're checking this out, of course, this is Tuesday, July 16th. So if you happen to catch it before the morning of July 17th, you could go over to the John M channel. Check that out. Lions trying to get to 2-0, keeping pace with the Packers and the Bears. Then tomorrow night, Vinny X Wolf channel, you will see the Vikings, and then the NFC North will be done. And then Thursday night, come right back here and watch the Patriots take on the Colts. Or, if you prefer, you can watch it from the Baltimore side of things and see the Colts take on the Patriots. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good night, good day, whatever time it is that you're checking this out. Have a good one. And we will see you next time in 2 days.